Welcome to Shade and the City. I am your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, of course, we are here to get into none other than the BMF. Okay, this is season 4, episode 3. Good Faith is the title of this one. So I would love to know your thoughts and what your rating is for this particular episode, because I think I would have to give it maybe I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was okay. I'd probably give it a good 7.5, maybe an 8. Is what I'm giving it.
I'm thinking an 8.
An 8. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? Literally just off of the Lucille and what's the name? Lucky scene. That right there just gave it 5 points. What?
Feeling lucky.
You don't remember? Ain't that the girl named Lucky?
Oh, is that Lucky?
I thought that was. Look, that's how you know I don't give a damn about that girl. I thought that was Lucky. Maybe it was somebody different. I don't know.
I like the fact that Pinky Nick was in it. It's Pinky Nick.
Who? Oh, Pinky. That Pinky. I was like, I thought you was talking about the other church dude, because I was like, I feel like we're supposed to know him, but we don't know. The one that the Ursher that took him to their seat. I feel like that's somebody we should know. Yeah.
With the perm?
Yeah, but I don't know who he is. I'm sure DeMarcus knows. Hey, DeMarcus.
I don't know who he is either.
He said that DeMarcus said it was a solid 9. Okay. I'm glad that Terry peeped that Isaac Roberts was working for the feds. Right, right. I did like that scene as well. Vacay J, hey, welcome. Solid 7. It's funny. I slid at Vacay's DMs and I said, I understand that it's game 7, brother, but don't leave us hanging for the live. Okay. And look, Nels, I'm talking about game 7. Nels has no idea what I'm talking about. DeMarcus, Pastor Coleman is giving Creflo Dollar vibes. He absolutely is.
Oh, is that Pinky? Is his name Pastor Coleman?
I guess so. Yeah, Pinky is Pastor Coleman. I'm glad somebody got the name because I sure didn't. Vacay said Lucille and Lucky. Yeah, when Lucky was talking about she goes to church. Yeah, she was like, I'm a Methodist. I
can't even figure out if she was Methodist or Baptist.
I said, oh, girl. Deacon Brown looked like Andre 3000 in the video. Hey, y'all. Yes, he does. Thank you, DeMarcus. Yes, he does.
You said he would know his name.
Right. So yeah, y'all, if y'all have not already, y'all know the drill. When you come in the door, make sure you hit the bell, okay? Or the like button, the thumbs up. Y'all know what I mean.
And the subscribe button.
And yeah, y'all, so let's jump right into it. I might be on and off because what y'all not gonna do is get me stuck with a funny looking face because my internet is freezing. And right now I'm looking at the signal going up and down. Okay. But anyway, y'all, so let's get into this episode of BMF and let's get shady. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. So they take us all the way back to good old Mexico, and we see Meech, Terry, and Loco. They're in the back of this pickup truck, and so they're found by these men that are driving the truck, and they want a reward for turning in Loco. Okay, and so they start, fighting before they can unalive them, and then surprisingly, they're able to handle them. Okay, and they realize that and so then basically Loco ends up unaliving somebody. And so T's like, oh, I guess we can trust Loco, right? Oh, hey, Steven, welcome, boo. And so then Terry mentions how, when he got in the game, he always thought it was going to be him and Meech against the world. And now he's realizing that basically Meech's definition of us has switched up and changed. Okay. You give the episode a 7. Okay. So I think we're all in the same boat around a good 7 or 8. Okay. And I didn't mean to confuse you, Vacay J. I was just saying, because I knew everybody was probably watching the game. And I said, I don't want my regulars to be, distracted and forget about us over here. But no, you're more than welcome next week. If you want to come up and join us, you're more than welcome. We'd love to have you. Is that so they were bounty hunters? Okay. I thought they was
Yeah,
just some, like,
yeah, you can't confuse me when you said the drivers found them. I was like, no, the drivers got taken out.
oh, see, I'm confused on who they were supposed to be. Okay, you
They
said
took
you'll be in
over,
the building. All right.
they took over the truck to find them so they can get the reward.
Hmm.
They took out the drivers.
Well, go ahead. Oh, well, you're mid sip.
All right, not no more. All right, so back in Detroit, Terry is pissed off at Meech. You know, he's trying to reach him. Terry, he called and Terry, Meech ain't picking up because he rerouted this work to Jay Pusher. Uh, whoa, whoa,
What?
whoa, Marquisha. That's what it's supposed to say. It says then Marquise. I was like, who the hell is Marquise?
I was like, what character did you just make up?
Look, and now she want to answer me. Then Marquisha is pissed because you know the holdup is delaying her and Isaac. And he said, you know, the work has been rerouted. He's gonna find out what's going on and get everything back on track. And she's like, what? You gonna find out? Like, what you mean? You don't know what's going on? So she's like, you ain't a 50 boy no more. All right, this ain't no small scale operation. People depending on you, and I'm depending on you. And it was given, look, it was given like I'm really backing it up on you and giving you the eyes, like, fix this.
And see, for me, I could just, y'all know, I get so annoyed because has he not done enough? You already in the house that he's paying for. You're not giving him none. You walking around, bossing him around and telling him what to do. Why you got a whole husband? I just don't understand what we're doing here.
She wants all the things. What
Clearly, all the things.
Look, what did the girl say earlier? She wants what? What did Alicia say earlier?
Oh, I don't even get me started. She don't even get me started on that BS.
That's what Marquisha is giving right now. Okay.
DeMarcus said Marquisha want to be Queen Louis so bad. I can't with her. I just really can't.
Her life, she had to fight. See, Queen Louis ain't really have to do it like this. You know what? Louis only had to do it with damn Marcus.
Oh, see, y'all talking about Snowfall references.
Yeah, we talking about Snowfall. Louis ain't have to do it with her man, though. Look, whatever she told her man she wanted, he was making it happen.
As it should.
Oh, but not with Marquisha.
No, because that is not her man. She got a whole husband.
Listen, he wasn't worried about that before.
Mm.
He wasn't worried about the husband before.
Well, so now we see Duffy. Apparently he's getting a little impatient with Meech as well. Because they need to move this work. You know what I'm saying? And right. And so Meech doesn't look. Meech said, I don't want to do anything because we got Detective Bryant lurking around. And so Duffy confesses to Meech how he unintentionally unalived. I was like, look at Duffy getting all sensitive. And then he was like,
I was like, I bet you DeMarcus knows who he's talking about.
I'm sure he knows. And so he unintentionally alived some young man that was, I guess, getting ready from Detroit, who was set to go off and play basketball. And apparently he was trying to, I guess the target was his brother, but he was in the house and the brother wasn't. And, you know, Duffy sprayed the house up and he hit up. It's time for Duffy to go. I kind of agree.
Goodness, DeMarcus.
I kind of agree with you, DeMarcus.
I want to know what happened to Mr. Kenny Johnson.
I do too.
You see what happened to Kenny Johnson?
What happened to poor little Kenny?
We just know he went missing.
They did Kenny wrong.
Did we see Duffy again after that?
I don't think we did.
Sound like they both missed. They went on vacation together. So then we see Nikki. She on the phone with her little boo thing. You know, explaining what happened after, you know, being in lockup. She says Harry got her an expensive lawyer who claims the cop knew they couldn't charge her with anything. They just wanted more information on her brothers. She said she mad though that she was even in that situation, or that they were both in that situation, because she wanted that night to be something special.
What song are you singing? I ain't never heard that.
Make It Last Forever.
Oh.
And basically, and he was like, well, look, it was given, that didn't change the night for me. I was in jail and everything, and guess what? It was still special. It was memorable to me. I ain't gonna
look. He said I was a squirrel, and I still got mine.
Exactly. So, she tries to tell him that she's excited about orientation and coming down to Atlanta by herself to see him, or so she thought. Then he get distracted by some chicks, get off the phone with her. Was like, yeah, I'm out of minutes, girl. Let me go. Bye. But then she goes downstairs to find out her mom's bags are packed, and she going to Atlanta right along with her. So she's like, what the hell she think I'm gonna do? Host a sex party for March and Wolverine?
I said she thought Mama think you out here having free calls.
Yes, she do. And Lucille said, does it really matter? Because you got your own mind, don't you? And she tried to get her daddy to go instead, and she said, nope, that will not be happening. Your daddy done traveled all around the world, girl, all around the world, and I ain't never left past Rockin' Hills. So I will be in Atlanta with that ass, period.
And I was just like, why, Jesus? And then did anybody else feel like Lucille was going to give Pastor, what's his name again? Somebody put it in the chat, Pastor Pinky. I know that's not what.
I know. I'm calling him Pastor Pinky, but
Pastor Pinky, I definitely thought she was going to try to give him the draws. I absolutely was thinking that. I could foresee that, especially if Charles started messing with somebody else.
She was going to try to get a draws to the little boy on campus. Did you see the way she was giving him the
Oh,
eye?
yes. Yeah. I was like, okay. I said, okay, Lucille, it's giving real
whole student, sir.
I said, it's giving real Drea Michelle vibes. Calm down. Okay. Steven said deep down inside, Lucille didn't like Charles taking another woman out. Oh, of course she didn't. We're gonna get into that. Nicole's about to get played. Absolutely. That's getting ready to happen. And I feel so bad for our good girl. Especially if
you got no money, but you got money to go on dates. It's just confusing to me.
What are you talking about? Who got money to go on dates?
What's his face? Charles.
Oh, you are terrible. Well, she worked at the thing. So she probably just cooking whatever's behind it that the cook make. They probably not really going to dinner.
Oh, so it's just convenient.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't think Charles spending no money.
And we really just assuming because we know Charles done spent money he ain't got to be spending. This will be the first time.
You're funny. DeMarcus thinks that Duffy probably eliminated Kenny Johnson. Okay. All right. VKJ said, hey, Keith Sweat. Okay. Steven said Markeisha gonna get Terry caught up. Absolutely. Here we go. Lucille is a hypocrite. Now we started off good, DeMarcus. Can we stay there? Pastor Coleman, thank you for reminding me, Steven. I appreciate you. Thank you, virtual co-host. We appreciate y'all. Yep. They about to get it on. Lucille is super. Hold on. Don't do that, VKJ. Don't do that to my girl, Lucille.
And DeMarcus, she can be.
Look, DeMarcus said, stop hating on Charles.
No, absolutely not. Will not.
Meech did try warning Terry about Markeisha, but he don't be listening. Yeah, because he's
just like Terry tried warning Meech about plenty of things that he don't listen. So they both hard-headed as hell.
Well, that's very true. So then we see Detective Bryant, who happens to be on the phone with help me out, virtual co-host, the detective that's in Detroit. Him.
I don't remember his name either.
Yeah. So, but he's on the phone with him. And they talk about Nicole and the whole car situation. He lets them know that they were only able to pull 3 prints from the car, and they speculate whether the third unknown print could possibly belong to Meech. So then literally my notes say, so now we know Meech's prints aren't in the system, which I could have sworn he's been arrested before.
For what?
Well, I literally started thinking about it, and I was like, didn't he get arrested before for something? Didn't Brian bring him in for something at one point? Like in the first couple seasons, or am I wrong? But anyway, that just registered to me, that little nugget that, okay, they don't have Meech's prints in the system for whatever reason. So then Detective Bryant tells him that he was able to find an address for a Don Greco, but it led to a dead end. And so he believes that, maybe he got roughed up by the Red Dogs under a different alias. So the other detective believes it could have been one of Meech's middlemen. Waters, thank you guys. Detective Waters. Okay. So yeah, Bryant speculates that it could have been one of Meech's middlemen. I'm assuming maybe he thought Duffy, and says that he needs to figure out his real name. And then he has to go through all this footage from the dealership. And so he asked the other detective, well, can you run the prints on your end? And he was like, well, hell no. Right. He was like, why am I doing my job and yours? And he was like, get her done. Okay. That I'm Detective.
I'd have been like, and kiss my ass.
Look, that's what I would have said. Especially we ain't even in the same place. If you don't get off my line,
And look, and I'm not as invested as you. Okay, all I care
right?
about is look. You got a whole thing going on. This is the whole thing for you, sir. I'm not that invested. So then everybody pulled up to Meech's house, Lucille, Terry, and Nicole, and he was completely caught off guard. And so was his chick that was in there, and apparently it was Lucky. I feel like I ain't never really seen a girl face. I guess.
Yeah,
I,
because I was like that. I was like, is that Lucky? Because I was like, she looks prettier for some reason than she normally does. I thought she did. I'm sure. I'm sure the men may feel differently, but I thought she looked prettier than she normally does.
So then, when Lucille saw her, you know what? She's like, it's a good thing I came. Because is this how you plan on hosting your sister in this den of iniquity with women of the light?
Hey, I love how Lucky was like what? Like me, woman of the night? Yes, you're a whore.
Now that I know it's
you're
Lucky,
a whore.
I thought she was just prejudging her, but now that I know it's Lucky, absolutely, yes, you do. Mm-hmm. So Meech tried to tell the girl, oh, my mom is a pastor. And she was like, oh, yes, I love the Lord, but couldn't figure out whether she was Methodist or Baptist. So then Meech had to put the girl out because his mama basically said, is it me or is it her? Who leaving? Then Lucille came in regulating, talking about him needing to clean up this mess. And I hope you got something to wear to church on Sunday because you need Jesus. And Nicole was like, oh, that's it? That's all he get? Right. And that's all he get. So then Terry takes this chance after, this man not answering his calls, to ask him why the hell he moved the weight to Jay Pusher without letting him know. Meech told him it was a one-off. He said he had to ground the cars and call an audible because Brian's ass is still down there. He told him he works for APD now and almost had their shipment. So Terry feels like as long as Brian is down there, their weight ain't safe. And said they need to move their distro back to the D. So Meech said that he's 20 steps ahead of him and tells him that Brian is on to the car dealer and they've been using, and they got to find out everything from her, what he knows, and tell him to roll with them or get rolled over. And he said, you know what, he'll come. And then he also let him know about Purdy's video shoot that he wants him to go to.
Right. So Cortland, hey boo, how are you? Welcome.
Hey, Cortland.
Following someone to another city is wild. Brian is ready to do anything. Well, he has to avenge his, Jen and his son. Lucky tried. She did try, I guess. I'm gonna need you to
pick one. I mean,
I know she could have picked one.
She didn't try hard enough.
Lucille and Lucky are special and slow. Don't do that. You could put Lucky in there, but don't do that to Lucille. Yep, double standard of Lucille. Absolutely. Oh. I was here for when Nicole read Meech down at the church, though.
Oh, that part, yeah. Okay.
Steven said, "Be Mickey going be Terry's fall guy." Oh, absolutely. I honestly think that we're gonna lose B Mickey. I mean, just how this episode played out, I feel like we're gonna lose B Mickey, and maybe he'll leave him some money, or T will pay some money to that girl.
I was gonna say, as long as he make enough money to pay for his daughter's surgery, I mean, it really doesn't make a difference.
Vacay J said Jay Pusher gotta go. I'm absolutely in agreement. So I think that we've always we done started coming up with hit lists now. So we got Jay Pusher. We definitely know that he needs to go. I definitely think Duffy is on the list. And then
Charles.
You are terrible. Charles don't need to. We know that he's not gonna go like that. Okay,
he don't need to be on the list.
You stupid. You stupid.
He's on the list. He made the list.
Said, yeah, Detective Brian is in Atlanta chasing Meech. Is diabolical, right? Cortland said Jay Pusher is like that friend that you can't trust. I don't know if y'all have had that before. No, yeah, I don't usually keep people. Like once somebody really shows me who they are, I'm usually a component of like believing it. Believing it for real. Cortland said, I think the real B Mickey is still alive. Oh, okay, Cortland. BMF hit list, not Charles. Yeah, you had to know that Charles is gonna end up on that list.
Absolutely. Charles been on the hit list. Did we forget? Charles been on the hit list.
But you know, You know, Vacay, we normally, with almost all of our recaps of these kind, when people gotta go, people gotta go. So you start making a list of who you think is next. And unfortunately,
It don't even gotta be.
Charles is not on it as much as Nels may want us to have a fume for
Well,
Charles.
no, it's not. It's not who you want or who you think should be. I know he ain't going nowhere. I just wish he would.
All right. See.
Wishful thinking.
So then speaking of y'all talking about Lucille, Lucille's walking around Morris Brown's campus admiring all the young eye candy that's going on out there. Okay. She was looking.
I know you can get down better than Charles.
All right. So she gets approached by some woman who clearly is an AKA. Okay. And so she asked
me, AKA?
Huh?
You thought she was an AKA?
She was in pink and green, absolutely.
Oh, I don't think I noticed.
Yeah, she was definitely an AKA.
She's a soror, but I was like, what is she?
And this is no shade to sorors out there. AKAs have a about them. And the way she was acting, if I hadn't identified it by the pink and green, I would have known she wasn't a Delta. I wouldn't have known she was a Zeta. She absolutely gave AKA. Okay. Her mannerisms, everything. So anyway, she asked Lucille if she pledged, and Lucille says no because, she always thought that was kind of cliquish. And so the woman flips the script real quick and says, well, an outsider would think that, and said, well, my daughter is following in my footsteps. And, she's going to be what we call a legacy. And so Lucille said, well, my daughter got a mind of her damn own, and she's there on a full scholarship. Okay. And so then the lady says, well, my daughter's pre-med. And so Lucille walks off in a huff, and then she tells Nicole that they need to talk about her major. And I said, well,
did Lucille go to college? Did she finish high school?
I think Lucille finished high school, but I don't think she finished college. And maybe you're right. Now that I think about it, I don't know if she did finish college. DeMarcus said Terry probably used B Mickey to take Isaac Roberts. Oh, to get rid of two birds with one stone. Oh, okay. I like that theory, DeMarcus. Lori's mother. Who's Lori? Is that supposed to be the girl that we haven't met? Yeah, AKA. Absolutely. She very much was an AKA. Okay. Judgmental Lucille. Don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all need to stop. It was a cute scene, though. I liked it. Meech and Terry ruined literally everything for Nicole. I agree, Cortland. Lucille was pregnant with the boys. She didn't do college. Right. That's what I thought, VK. Look, DeMarcus, you better pass the collection plate, brother. It's still Sunday. It's still Sunday. Okay? You said a word. You said a word right there, DeMarcus. Okay? So if y'all would like to drop something in the collection plate for DeMarcus, I'll make sure that he gets it.
No, that was giving Xavier energy.
Mm-hmm.
That was giving Xavier energy, DeMarcus.
It absolutely was.
I wouldn't have expected that from you, DeMarcus.
VKJ said, praise the Lord.
Oh my goodness. Wow, DeMarcus. I wouldn't have expected that from you. Oh my goodness.
He said, tell the truth, shame the devil.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And real quick before Nails gets started, who y'all think gonna win this game for all those that are watching? Do you got OKC or Indiana? I guess it don't matter because this is game 7, right? But y'all put it in the chat who y'all think gonna win if you watching.
That's what he over at his brother's house watching on.
Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. It's the finals. It's kind of a big deal.
It's the final countdown.
No, and it has nothing to do with that. No.
That doesn't work.
You see how she messes up sports for me, y'all? It's just really bad.
It wasn't the sport, it was just the song. I know what is that from boxing or something? I don't know.
I don't know, but they've never played it at an NBA game. I can guarantee
you. All right. So Alexandra went over to Meech's house. She told the guys that Brian did come back with a warrant, but he's not going to find anything in the paperwork. And Terry said, how does this even happen in the first place? And she said, Kitty Johnson is an associate who worked for her and had a side hustle reselling stolen cars. But he's been let go. And she said she rechecked his fleet and the Honda was the only one that was stolen. She also said that even though the paperwork will lead to a dead end, the CCTV footage that he confiscated will not. Um, and she said that Kenny Johnson might know, what they had going on, and that's why she brought them his file. So Terry is ready to get rid of her, while Meech said absolutely not. She's been holding this down. And Duffy said, regardless to what y'all saying, Kenny sounds like a loose end, and it needs to be, and we need to tie it up. So Terry was like, the nerve of you. Okay, this is basically all your fault. So how the hell are you gonna say we? And Duffy was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. This is me, and you know what? I'll handle it. So Meech tells him to just pay him to leave town. Basically, don't take him out. Tell him to leave town for a little bit. And then I noticed that when Duffy picked up the file, there was a key that dropped. And I mean, I don't know what it meant, but they zoomed in on it, so it must have meant something.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it was a key that dropped. I don't know, maybe if that's going to be used. I don't know what it meant, but I think maybe it was with the file or something. I don't know.
Okay, look, Nell's picking up nuggets. I definitely didn't pick that up. Courtland said Lamar is going to return soon, so probably Meech and them think he's gone. Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, they have to know that the man got up and. I mean, or did they run off? Now I have to remember the scene, like replay it in my head.
They might have ran off before he did.
Okay, and it was just.
But I think they know he's not gone, because remember, everybody was talking about it the next day.
Right.
Remember, Terry was like, "Oh, everybody's talking about it, but not who did it."
Facts. And y'all really think OKC gonna win? Okay, cool. I mean, I ain't got no stake in this game either way, so it don't really. Honestly, if I could have had it my way, I would have liked to see the Knicks take it all the way. But anyway, Steven said Jay Push's plan to take Meech's spot won't work because Meech and Loco have a personal relationship. Agreed. And you see, Steven, I don't know if you clocked it as well. I liked how Loco said something to him, and we'll get into that. And he was like, "You sure you trust Jay Pusha?" And I was like, I feel like Loco was hinting to us that, or hinting to Meech in that moment, like maybe you shouldn't. If I'm, you know what I mean? I was with him, but
he would have needed to hint. Like, we talked about everything else. Tell me what it is.
Right.
Tell me I shouldn't trust him.
Vacay said Duffy's clown work. Right. Courtland said, "Can y'all help me? What was Meech thinking leaving Lamar alive?" Because we need Lamar to sing us good songs. Okay. We need Lamar.
Oh, we got CC to do it. We got Cecilia.
No, Cecilia can go. I was not here for it.
Yeah, she can
now, if y'all want to talk about somebody, make her the bad person. Cecilia, on the job at that, you should be written up. Where's blatant truth when you need her? Oh my God. Our HR person. Vacay said Lamar is still alive. We know. DeMarcus said Terry was basically right about Duffy. He did have points. Steven said Clifton Powell is the new Pastor Swift. Yes, he is. Vacay, Knicks. Yeah, I was with it. Great eye nails. Yeah, I didn't peep that. Happy feelings in the air. Really? I love it, Vacay JC.
I hope they don't pass each other nothing, but they nasty, crusty asses.
Look, all I gotta say is I hope you got your jukebox ready next week if you coming up here, Vacay J.
Crusty ass Charles.
So speaking of Charles, he down at Terry's restaurant eyeing the waitress, and apparently my notes say that she could hold a little note. She got a little hee, you know what I'm saying? So then her and Charles start their little sing. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? You know, they was going back and forth. And so she knows who Charles is because she knows he was on tour with the Campbell brothers. So then she starts talking about, well, you know, a man that can play a guitar, it must be good with his hands. And you can stroke me. You can stroke my strings, daddy. Okay. And that's
that went real left. That is not what she said. Whoa. Now she's sounding like a lady of the night.
All right. Hey Danielle. Hey y'all. Sliding in here late with my church finger up. You funny. Well, look, you missed it. Pastor DeMarcus was up here really giving a sermon. Yeah, you late. You bet. Just go on to the back. Go to the back pew. And just sneak in real good. Vacay said, hey, I got you. Cortland said, Lamar, the gangster Stevie Wonder. Absolutely. I love it. DeMarcus said, the Cecilia hate is real. Yeah, she gets no love over here. None.
Well, and plus it sounds too close to Lucille. Like, ew.
Right. But you know what? That's back in them days when people had them old names. You know what I mean? Lucille, Cecilia, you know. I bet look, the next woman might be named Gertrude. Like, we don't know. You know what I mean? That's just them days.
Gertrude is crazy.
Vacay said, where is the love? I'm still mad Charles dating Terry's employee. That part. Cortland said that's probably what
anybody's walls. Little nasty ass.
Look, Cortland said that's probably what all the guys say to their women. I'm going on tour, but seeing different women. Right. Steven said Jay Pusha gonna get dropped off. Duffy about to go to jail for a while. Like Cuffy IRL. Maria gonna be Big Meech's love interest and future baby mother. Okay. Because I keep wondering who is the baby mama. And I think Alexandria is gonna stay loyal, but they throw at you think that I think they're gonna unalive Alexandria. And I think that's what you're trying to say, but maybe if not, correct me. DeMarcus said Lucille probably going to Terry's restaurant. Oh, I know that's happening. I already seen that. DeMarcus, I couldn't have wrote it better myself. As soon as she asked him, I said she going down. She gonna find out. And why would he tell her where she worked?
Because
have we not?
I watched and probably think it's cute to make her jealous.
Look, I tell y'all, if my TV was not on the game, it would be on Snapped. Okay. Why would you tell her where the other lady worked? That is a recipe for disaster and hurt feelings and people getting run over in the parking lot. Okay.
So while Lucille was cleaning up her son's house, he gifted her a fur coat. He said that she's always taught him and Nikki to value nice things, and he really wanted to give it to her at the graduation, but it wasn't cold enough. And I think that just kind of clicked in her head, like, oh, the graduation, the stolen car. Yeah, I can't accept this. Okay, I got to be a good example for, I'm a pastor. I got to lead by example. And he said, okay, so you won't take none of my gifts, but you give the church everything. And the church has always been a reason we've been without. And she's like, what are you talking about? We ain't never been without. Okay, the church always came through for us. So she was like, oh, so he was like, oh, okay. So when the bank was about to take our house and I paid off the mortgage and not the church, what happened then? And she was like, okay, but then when you got pow 5 times and almost unalive running these damn streets and the Lord saved your black ass, how about that? So she said, look, I try hard not to judge you. Okay, but I ain't about to sit here and let you do it to me. All right, sir, let's not. I said, okay. That coat was kind of big on her, though. It was giving polar bear or something. It was...
I was here for it. It was given, you know what it reminded me of? The coat that the wife gave Denzel and what's that one of my favorite movies? The one about Frank Lucas, and it's not coming to me right now. The one where Jay-Z and Pharrell like did the whole damn soundtrack. Cause me and your boy used to listen to it on repeat. American Gangster. That's what it is. American Gangster. But remember when she gave him the coat? Because that's how he got caught. Remember, that's how the police, because that brought attention to him when he was at the boxing match.
I'm sure his coat looked nice. Hers did not look fitted at all. It looked like a cape.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he didn't get it fitted because, they don't think that much. They don't think that much into it. All right, let's get into
4X.
Jay Pusha talk like his grill is too big for his mouth. It is. It is. Steven said Isaac is the feds and Jay Pusha gotta go. And I hope nothing happens to Duffy. Okay, Steven. Yes, that's one of my faves. One of my faves. And speaking of that, I'm a post on the board. But y'all, they was getting on me earlier in a other live chat because I was listing off all the Black movies that I have not seen. And they was really getting on me about it. But I have seen American Gangster, so I can't say that much. I've never seen, what's the one that everybody, I've seen Godfather. I finally saw that one. What's the other one that everybody, the real long one? Is it Godfather?
Godfather is a long one.
I've never seen Godfather.
There's a few of them.
Yeah, I've never seen any of them. Cortland said, Nook unalived that guy for showing off. Remember on the Shy? That must be for you because I don't.
Nook unalived too. What guy? Oh yeah. Wait, are we talking about? Huh?
I guess maybe somebody on this show was on the Shy.
I
Oh,
know what guy she's talking about on the Shy, but I don't remember them being in this.
oh, okay. DeMarcus said, why now we know why Meech disliked church so much. Right. I do like that. I did like that they laid that out. Um, Godfather of Harlem, season 4. I've heard that's good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sure it's a good storyline, and I'm gonna try it on like a rainy weekend this summer. But being honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the actor. Before y'all tomato me in the comments, I don't know his name, but it's the guy with the eye. I'm not a big fan of him as an actor. In
It's the
anything that
guy
he
with
plays
the
in.
eye.
You'll know him when you see him. And I know DeMarcus knows his name, like his
Forrest
name.
Whitaker.
Forrest, is it no, is that Forrest Whitaker?
That's the only guy I know with the eye.
Then maybe it is. Maybe it is. Belly Paid in Full. I've seen both of those. Belly is actually one of my faves too. It's real good. I covered it. Okay. Forrest Whitaker. So yeah, I think it is Forrest Whitaker. I've just never been a fan. Yes, I've seen Scarface,
He's
guys.
a good
I've seen
actor.
Scarface. I just never thought I just really don't like there's nothing I'm like, oh my God. Like when I've watched it, I'm like, and it's terrible. Maybe it's the eye for me, and that's really up and
That's really
shallow
what
of
it's
me.
giving. That's really what it's
And that's really up and shallow of me, and I'm
because the
sorry.
fact that
Okay.
you said the guy with the eye, I mean, that's just
I'm sorry.
it's really what it's giving.
So did you get into Detective
Oh,
Bryant finally?
so Brian was watching the CCTV and found what he was looking for. It was Meech coming into the dealership. He was super excited about it. That's what I got.
Yeah. So then we see Lucille and Nicole and Meech and Terry, they all at the church, and they are just so floored because there are ATMs and Brinks trucks outside. Okay. And
I
so
thought it
they're
was hilarious how they had that conversation last night, and then he brought them to a church
right.
where it was all about the money, honey.
Right. Okay. If it ain't about the money, okay,
Period.
that's what he said. So then Pastor, and let me go back in the comments because thankfully for our wonderful virtual co-host, what is this man's name again? I forgot just that fast. That's terrible. You know what? Almost want to call Pastor Coleman. I wanted to call him Pastor Clifton because I know his real name is Clifton. And so every time I think Pastor C, forgive me, y'all. But anyway.
And for me, it's just Pinky. That's Pinky Nickel.
Oh, Pastor Pinky. Say what again? Oh, that was my favorite. Anyway, so he preaches about wealth. Clearly, I seen Friday. All right. So he preaches about wealth and and how basically it's not a sin. And then this apparently touches Lucille's spirit. Okay. And so did you put those two together or did you do them separate?
I put them together.
Did you okay. So then we see Meech confront Lucille is waiting to have a conversation with Pastor Coleman. And this is when I was like, not us waiting after church, like we a cheerleader posted up after the football practice. Like, what's going on? Okay. So Meech confronts Nikki White after church and ask you like, oh, so you still give me silent treatment? You not talking to me? And so Nicole was like, well, no, because I should have known anything that was coming from you meant there was some type of trouble. And so Meech claims that, you know what, I came there to celebrate you. And I love when Nikki makes it clear, no, you didn't come see me after missing for 6 months to celebrate me. No, you didn't. You came to make it about you. Okay. And to be the center of attention, as you always like to do. And I think I said that a couple times. So Meech can't believe what she's saying. And then he's like, well, and so Terry was like, well, you don't need our help. We can, we don't need these lawyers that we paying for. And she was like, that's not what I said. What I said is I got my own way now. I'm good. Okay. And so then, okay. So Lucille goes over to introduce herself to Pastor Coleman, and he tells her that, he's trying to get her to join the church. Okay. And it tells her they'll change her from a church mouse to the belle of the ball. And so then she shares that she's a pastor, but in her church, they teach humility. Okay. And so he tells her that richness comes in a lot of forms and tells her that God doesn't dim the light of his stars. And I said, well, brother, you ain't said nothing but a word. I was here for it. Amen. Amen. Not they said his lazy eye got you tripped. It is, y'all. I'm sorry. I hate to sound bad like that, but it does. Vacay said the usher with the perm hilarious with his hand out. Yes. Yes.
And then
But
me
now
just
that
sitting
now
there,
but whenever whoever said he looked like the guy from the Hey Ya video, I can't unsee it now. I can't unsee it. He absolutely looks like him.
he said it looked like Andre 3000.
Forrest Whitaker is lazy, just like Terry's eye. Y'all don't ever hear me get up here and talk about how fine Terry is. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
But he always got glasses on. Terry usually got sunglasses on.
But you know what? So the actor is very, very handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Like when his eyes not late. Da Vinci, yes, that's his name. Steven, tell me why I
think
thought of
as lazy as Forrest Whitaker stuff.
no. Tell me why I thought of Leon Lonnie Love when I saw Pastor Coleman. What? Leon Lonnie Love. Cortland said Pastor Coleman was ready to give out his address to Lucille. He was ready to make a house call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. DeMarcus said Forrest. Oh, you already said that. Steven said Lucille was being a hypocrite because she was judging Nicole and Lucky, but she was checking out college boys at Morris Brown, and she was ready to. If you ask me, Lucille was ready to do more than just pray with Pastor Coleman. If I think so, in my opinion. Vacay said Pastor Coleman gave her a lesson and was about to go in before she was like, "I'm a pastor," and then he bounced. Right. Cortland said if Charles was there, he would have been fighting the pastor. Okay. Lucille is thirsty over Pastor Creflo Coleman. Right. I think she wanted more than prayer from that man.
She's trying to live that good life. Okay. So as ordered, Duffy went to go pay a visit to Kenny Johnson. And I don't think Kenny was really understanding, he wasn't picking up what Duffy was putting down. Okay, because he was like, oh, okay, well, if I just give your name, then all this car stuff will go away, right? And Duffy was like, yeah, or you could take this money and go on a long extended vacation. Okay. And Kenny was like, no, I did all of this to do my EMT and I can't miss no classes. And Duffy was like, dude, you're going to miss plenty of class. If you don't
I was so mad. I said, I believe the children are the future. Let that boy go to EMT training. He trying to get, that's why he was doing that with the cars. He trying to find his way out, man. Nelson's face is everything.
You better get you a whole nother identity and do EMT training elsewhere. Okay.
Well, that part. Or he might need an EMT.
Exactly. Or might be too late for the EMT. He might need a body bag. Then Brian starts banging at the door and wouldn't quit because he said, I see your car outside. And Brian wasn't playing because he literally bust down the door. But by the time he got in there, Kenny and Duffy and the money was all gone. Jesus Christ. Then we see Brian. He called Alexandria in for questioning and told her she lied to him and showed her a picture from the CCTV and said, I asked you if you sold him the Honda. She said, just because he was there don't mean I sold him the car. Okay. Then he said, well, isn't it funny how conveniently his name is in the sales records, but the alias of this guy, Don Ginkgo, is. And she was like, well, that's who provided the proper identification. Okay. And I gave you what he gave me. So then he tells her that her associate, Kenny Johnson, is missing. She said, look, I obliged you, okay, by even coming down here. But if you had anything on me, I'd be in cuffs by now. And then she took her hands and went like this. That man slammed her little wrist on the table, okay, and would not let him go. He said, listen, you're grimy. And now you on my list. I said, oh.
Excuse me, internal affairs.
Look, even me, I was like, oh, this is just a show, but that was a creepy ass look.
That was.
Shit, you need to be
scared. Not even that. Detective Bryant looks scary to me. Like he does nothing for me. Like even when Jen was getting turned on by him, I was so confused. The way he sits and chain smokes and is in the beer belly, and it does nothing for me. And I didn't understand. And yeah, I would have just, I don't know. He looks like he has the cool, like he looked like he don't shower for a couple days. Like I wouldn't want him touching
He
me.
just staked out in his car. Just
Yeah, he give me that. That he probably uses the bottles in his car and don't even like go to the bathroom. Like it's just real. He looked real unclean. Um, DeMarcus said they definitely made it rain and passed the Coleman's church. Steven said Jay Pusha and Meech are gonna beef over that shit, man. Absolutely. Cortland said he wanted to pray with Lucille in their bedroom. Okay. He said, let me lay some hands on your sister.
let me get you
DeMarcus
on your
said,
knees.
right, get on your knees and keep your head to the sky. DeMarcus said Brian probably takes out Duffy because of Kenny Johnson and Alexandria. Okay, I can see that. Cortland said Duffy is worried about Brian finding out about the murder in Detroit, right? Yes. Steven said Detective Brian needs to fall back. He been taking too many L's, right? Bryant checked Alexandria for the fraud she is. Now, what's the fraud is that wig on her head. But DeMarcus said, I actually like Detective Bryant. You know what, DeMarcus, because
it don't surprise me.
You always like to choose the wrong side, and I don't understand that.
It don't surprise me, DeMarcus. It don't surprise
me. It really doesn't. It doesn't. You like to live on the wild side, and that's why we love you, DeMarcus. That's why we love you, okay? Somebody has to have the opposing opinion. Why not it be you? Okay, why not you? So now Meech, I already said that. So then Charles goes to have dinner with Aisha. Thank God somebody said her name because I did not remember that girl name. But it's Aisha, B. Mickey, and V. After he goes to church. And so Charles shares with B. Mickey that, he's divorced because apparently B. Mickey wasn't aware. And said, but he's into some woman named Cecilia now. Okay. So he brags about her voice and how attractive she is. And then B. Mickey talks about how he found love in a hopeless place. Okay. He found love in a hopeless place. Okay. When he was contemplating going over to see his mother on the other side, he was on some I'll see you when you get there. Okay. Tell me when you get there. All right. But he decided not to go there. Okay. Because he met Aisha. And there we have it. And so basically Charles said, your house looking a little raggedy. But I like to fix things. So can I help you out? And B. Mickey was like, well, I ain't got no money. I ain't got it to do. I got to pay for this surgery. And so he said, brother, I'll be over with my tools. Just be ready to work. Let me help you out.
Paying for the materials if they both broke.
First of all, one thing that I thought about, I said, I feel like and maybe I'm wrong, and y'all could go run back the beautiful bean footage. But if I'm not mistaken, they still have unfinished walls with no wallpaper on it. It hasn't been painted in their house. Like literally, I remember when Lucille came to confront him and they show the walls behind her. And I remember looking at him and being like, Charles still ain't fixed that. Because remember when he was on that whole thing?
And remember he was at the next lady's house painting her damn walls?
Painting her walls?
Literally.
Right.
This time, I mean literally painting her walls.
Right. Okay.
Hell.
So, Cortland said Bryant don't have as many females as Meech. We see why what you said. I'm just saying. DeMarcus is trolling. I knew you was gonna sing that. I'm just saying. He's doing a bad job, bro. Who are we talking about? Charles. Detective Bryant actually makes chasing Meech and Terry interesting. I guess. He could be better on the eyes. I mean, they could have brought Tate over here and he could have done the same job. That's all I'm saying. Tate could have done the same job. Yes, OKC won, DeMarcus. Thank you for letting us know.
But I was about to say I didn't know what he was talking about. So Meech and Terry went to go check out Purdy's video shoot. Meech runs into Purdy's makeup artist Maria and tries to holler at her. Then they met Trail, her producer, who really tried to play them like, I don't know who y'all are, and basically come see me after you finish with your little groupies. Apparently they lent her the cars while she's, having a conversation with them. there's people that come and take the damn jewelry from around her neck because it's rented. So she said that, she's grateful that they lent her the cars because normally the label would rent it and she just has to pay it back. And Terry is like, and this makes sense to you? Like, this is all adding up to you? And she was like, all the big names have to make sacrifices. And I think she's just a little off because she like booger sugar. She
Did you just call it booger sugar?
Yes. You ain't see her go back there and do what she.
I mean, I know she was doing the booger sugar, but I ain't heard it called that in so long. Jesus.
So then back at the house, Meech and Terry still talking about, this stuff and how it's messed up. And he said that, and basically said that's why he didn't charge for the whips. So Terry said, what if we actually did charge and made a profit? So Meech is like, dude, if we got a music game, we got to do it to actually help the artists. And Terry's like, yeah, absolutely. But then says that they can wash their other profits, and Meech is with it. So he said the music game can put them up on connects on the other side, and they're ready to start a record label.
What was the name of it? Stomping Ground from the bottom. Started from the bottom. Now we here. What?
You crazy?
It was something like, y'all know in the comments. Help us out, virtual co-host. What was the name of the label that they started? But I'm with you, VKJ. I'd like to see Knicks 2026. Or what I'd really like to see, and this is so off topic, I'm sorry, guys. What I'd really like to see is if we can get Bronny's ass and LeBron off the Lakers and then actually get some good people and build up, and we see the Lakers 2026. That's what I'd like to see. I said what I said. Cortland, I think BMF got into a fight or something with Diddy once in a club. We may see that. Oh, I would like to see that. Take that. Okay. I wonder if Maria knows that Purdy is playing with her nose. Well,
did you see when they were walking away from the video shoot?
Yeah, and Trail grabbed her up. It made me think that she might be messing with him.
I don't think so. The way she pushed him off, it looked like
I don't know. I don't know. That was weird. That was weird.
Show offy dudes, how they be.
DeMarcus said Trail is giving me P. Diddy vibes. Okay.
And this is why I don't think she was with it. I think it was just.
So y'all trying to say he all in the video? Want to be on stage dancing? Stomping Ground Records. Thank you, DeMarcus. Thank you. DeMarcus said Purdy's character symbolized Blue Da Vinci, the first artist of BMF. Okay. But wasn't Blue, and maybe I'm wrong, wasn't Blue Da Vinci, or was that a female? Correct me if I'm wrong, because clearly you know and I don't. So, but I thought it was a male. But anyway, let's move over to so yeah, you got into them going through their names and the stomping grounds and whatever. So did you talk about Jay Pusha coming in or no?
I didn't get into their names.
Okay. No, I was okay. So then we get into they get a knock at the door, right? Oh no. I apologize. I'm jumping ahead. I apologize. I cannot forget this. We can't forget that. That's a great scene. Okay. So Charles comes back to check in with Lucille because she's gotten back from Atlanta. And she tells him that she thinks things are better between Terry and Meech now. Because apparently he stayed back. And then Charles mentions how how he went to have dinner with B. Mickey. And says that, he's struggling a little bit, but he's glad that he's not taking any shortcuts. So then Charles tells her that he wants to take someone out on a date. Okay. And so Lucille tells him, well, you're a free man. But then said, well, who is it? So Charles tells her, well, her name is Cece. And, I know her from Terry's restaurant. And Lucille says, well, you know what? It's great that I know. There's the door.
Don't let the good Lord hit you where the good Lord's put you. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord's put you.
Look, Cortland, y'all know how it's looking with the Diddy trial. I do. It flip-flops every day, but I pay very much attention to it. Cortland said Meech might unalive Jay Pusha, or we know Terry wants to. Right. I do. I mean, Jay Pusha has to go. It's going to happen. Charles, free. Get your groove on. Okay.
He's free to also get his own spot where he ain't got to run and tell his ex-wife what he doing.
Vacay J, I don't know why you started this. I was gonna say, be careful for you come up here next week, because if it's one thing she don't see it for is some Charles. She gonna argue you down about some. She gonna argue about some Charles, okay? And I can't say I blame her because I forgot that he's still living in that house. Bro, that takes a lot to tell your woman I'm going on a date with someone else. Well, that's not his woman no more. That's his ex-wife that he just won't leave the house. He said, I'll be ready. He said, you want me to first. DeMarcus said, Javier Loco, right-hand man, probably checks Jay Pusher for trying to cut Meech out of the deal. Okay. Okay.
All right, so then we see Terry and Meech. They coming up with the name for the record label.
There you go. Okay.
They decided on Stomping Ground Records. Then Jay Pusher came through. Terry told him that he got his people coming from the D to come get their share, so it better be ready. And Jay Pusher told him that there's only a few keys left, so you can take whatever you want. He said, and then so he's like, dude, like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, well, I ain't about to sit on no product. That's not how we do business. Okay. He said, I sold my portion and I sold damn near everything else. But I got your money. That's why I'm here. So Terry is really ready to whoop this man's ass. So Meech pulls Terry to the side and he's like, really, he did us a favor because now we can go get more product from Loco and, keep this stuff going. And Terry's like, no, he broke the chain of command. So Meech told him, you know what? Terry's right. There's a reason why we grounded the cars, and basically tells him, you don't run nothing. We do. Okay. So Jay said, you know what? I hear you. No disrespect. And Terry told him, I'm telling you, he's a snake. And you of all people should know how dangerous that is. So, well.
That part. Oh, DeMarcus said he actually agrees with you about Charles staying with Lucille. Well, okay. For once, y'all on the same side of the coin. What do they say? A broken clock can be right, but twice a day. Cortland said, oh, nah, my bad. I was asking if last time it was looking bad for Diddy. If you knew last time. I will say last I heard, actually, Friday, the way they ended when they put the guy up there that they arrested with all the goodies, the goodie bag. Apparently he did the prosecution no justice, no help. And he actually hurt them, if anything. So that's the last that I heard. So that's helpful, especially after Jane Doe's testimony all last week, which was kind of hurtful to him, but it wasn't, like I said, it went up and down every day. But they're supposed to be, I think they said they're supposed to be trying to have a verdict by like next week or something crazy, which I don't see happening, but maybe I'm wrong. Cortland said Brian will be showing up at BMF concerts next. Right. Terry is right. Jay pushes out of here. Oh, absolutely. He's gone. He's gone. So Detective Bryant goes by to see, help me y'all, the little boy's daddy, Milton's dad. Abe. Okay. And he tries to ask questions when basically he makes it clear that he knows Brian is a cop. Bryant introduces himself and Milton's dad goes off about how he feels Bryant played in his face to try to get information. And so he was like, do you even have a son? And so finally, Detective Bryant tells him about Kevin and why he's there investigating the crew, because that it might have had something to do with the whole, melee scenario that had his son unalived. Okay. So then he pulls out a picture of Meech, and Abe says that he can't remember him from the day of the melee. However, he does remember him showing up at this son's funeral. And so he was like, oh, well, if Meech is there, then basically he's there because of guilt, not grief, is what he's saying. So I was like, oh, well. Oh, Cortland said Nels cut her camera off. She don't like
shady. No, that wasn't why I had to go put my baby to bed. That wasn't that ain't have nothing to do with it. But I mean, no, I don't care for him, but no, I wouldn't cut my camera off of that. It wasn't like Charles or something.
Right. If I would have went a whole diatribe about Charles, she would have cut it off.
Oh, she would have been caping for Charles. Yeah, I would have definitely, for sure.
Meech did agree with Jay Pusha at first, and Terry checked Jay Pusha with the quickness. I did like that. I did like that, and how Meech came back and was like, all right, nah, but you messed up the chain of command. I did appreciate that. All right, Nels, you going into T and Markeisha, or you want me to do it?
All right.
Oh,
So
I thought
Terry
you were
got
still off.
back. Huh? All right. So
No, I
Terry got
thought you were
back
still off. Go ahead.
and explained to Markeisha, what happened with the weight. And she's pissed because she said, she put herself on the line for him and this is really going to mess her up. And said, Isaac is not the type of person, you can go to a favor for it twice. This is her shot and she don't want to mess it up. Hello, she's a woman and like she's cute. So it's hard for her. Period. She got pretty privilege. So he's like, basically, what do you want me to do? Okay. She's like, look, great minds discuss ideas. And what? I don't know what she said. Okay. Something about minds discussing ideas and other minds discussing people. Okay. And she basically said, forget about this BMF stuff. Help me fix this. Okay. So he was like, you know what? We could reblock the leftovers and then we'll have enough. And then she complains about how it's supposed to be pure weight. And that's what she, sold him on. And he's like, listen, do you want the subpar stuff now? Or do you want to wait to get the good high quality stuff? So she was like, you know what? Just keep it as high quality as possible. So I wonder how much, like, it sounds like it takes a lot to like re-brick everything or reblock everything.
I would think so too. That does seem like a lot. I was thinking that same thing. So Loco comes to see Meech, and he tells him that, the routes from Columbia to Miami are effed up, basically. And the police and the DA, he said, the feds is watching, okay?
Mm.
And so Meech figures out, that's how they knew about our drop the last time. So he suggests that they go, that it go to St. Louis because it's easier to get across the Mexican border. And Meech is not in agreement with this and said, well, that was supposed to be a one-time situation. And so Loco tells him it's easier. And so finally he agrees to it. And Loco questions if he trusts Jay Pusha. And this is what I was talking about earlier. And Meech, was like, yeah, no, I trust him. That's my man's and them. But we all know Terry done already warned him he's not to be trusted.
He's a snake.
Just hold on. DeMarcus said Meech is bad for Meech. Oh, I already read that. This one I saw. Meech is bad for business and Terry is a true businessman. Okay. DeMarcus, so why does no one want to work with Terry? I'll let you know when you're right, but I don't know if I can give you that one. Vacay, great minds talk about business, small minds talk about people. It's an old saying. Thank you, Vacay. Thank you so much for the super chat, DeMarcus. Who would y'all rather trust, Jay Pusha or Markeisha? Damn, that's a hard one.
Markeisha, not for me.
Well, as a woman in the game, I think I would rather trust Markeisha.
No, because Markeisha, if she messed up, it wasn't intentional. Jay Pusha is intentionally a snake.
Okay,
Markeisha made a mistake by trusting Isaac.
That's a good question. Y'all, I want to see y'all answers in the chat. That's a great question. I'm going to have to say Markeisha because look how she looked out for Kiki down at the, you know what I mean? So, and going to help her get some.
To me, even with this setup, like even Terry thought the dude was legit. So I don't feel like it was like at all intentional or, lack of knowledge or anything, but no, Jay Pusha is an intentional snake.
All right. Steven said Terry is not a likable person. He's not. Except to his baby mamas. Cortland said if Brian found out, you stupid. Cortland said if Brian found out when BMF were in Mexico, y'all think he would have went that far? Oh, absolutely. That motherfucker said, I will cross the ocean for you. He will go. He'll go to the moon for these motherfuckers, okay? Vacay said Terry is a tight wad. He's not as cool as Meech. Meech is the people's fan.
They answering your question. So why don't nobody want to work with Terry?
Right. Neither.
That wasn't the question. You have to answer either or. Okay, it's an A and B answer. You have to answer A or B.
Right.
All right, so Terry and Markeisha, they get to the spot to meet up with Isaac, and she's ready to jump out the car. And Terry tells her, yo, chill out. You got to scope the scenery. And then he noticed there's like a bunch of white dudes. And
This is said C.
That's not on the test. Wrong answer. So he noticed there's a bunch of white dudes and they just chilling around at all the exits and they not eating. Then they notice this whole surveillance work truck. Okay. So they like, no, we got to get the hell up out of here. So when they get back, he's pissed thinking that Markeisha tried to set him up. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't know nothing about this. I could have got locked up too. You know what I mean? Then he gets a call from Meech to let him know that all the sales will be moving to the Louvre for good. So T is pissed off and he's like, yo, I thought this was a one-off. And Meech told him that the crazy guy can't party in Atlanta no more. So she said, no. So he said that he thinks the broker needs to be replaced. And Meech basically tells him stop being so sensitive and take notes. And of course, Markeisha used this opportunity to get in his head and basically tell him stay loyal to people that are staying loyal to him. Then in the last scene, we see Terry. He meets up with B. Mickey to put him back on the payroll, but tell him he really ain't down like that no more. And Hoop,
you ain't Hoop,
huh?
You ain't Hoop, basically.
Yeah, and Hoop really didn't understand. He was like, "Yo, I'm your numero uno. Like, what's going on? Why you didn't choose me?" And he said basically because, you know, B. Mickey is disposable and you're not, and I want him to be the front line of defense.
Well, yeah. That was this episode. Like I said, it was about a good 7.5, 8. I did like it, appreciate it. I think that Hoop is going to, I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but I feel like Hoop is going to, he feels insecure about his spot and him bringing back B. Mickey.
I think especially after what B. Mickey said. Remember when he was staking out on B. Mickey?
Uh-huh. And I think it's going to end up getting him unalived because he's going to try to put himself in a situation where Terry's trying to protect him from, but trying to prove that, you get what I'm saying? He could do the same thing B. Mickey can do and he's not needed. That's just my assumption. Again, that's just me and my writer's book, okay? But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in to this recap. Yes, everybody loves Meech. Hoop's gonna side with Meech, right? Okay, DeMarcus, we already know you're on the wrong side of history. Everything we do, I can't with you. But yeah. Oh, so why I have DeMarcus here, and before I get y'all off, thank you, Vacay. So if you had to choose one, and I said this is hard, I'm So Hood by DJ Khaled or The Block Is Hot by Lil Wayne.
I'm So Hood.
I'm So Hood. I was like, I think it's the Miami. You can't help but
with my head.
Right. You know, that takes us back to a whole time.
It's definitely I'm So Hood.
Yeah, definitely I'm So Hood. So if that answers your question, DeMarcus. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all so much. If y'all have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button for us.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure that you guys subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the TikTok, IG, Facebook, and the Blue Sky. And yeah, y'all, we will catch you next Sunday for another round of the B, the M, and the M. Oh, I said F. Let me get off here and go to bed. Y'all have a good week. Be blessed. Bye-bye.